Welcome back to Dad Riffs, and today we're going to be working on Get Together. Dad Riffs. So it's going to start off with your pointer finger on the 5th fret. You got B and E, and you're going to go back and forth between those two strings. But every other time, you're going to put your pinky right here on the 7th fret of the B string. And then take your pointer finger, slide it down a whole step, but leave your pinky right here on the 7th. And you want that weird sour wobble, between these two notes. Sounds nice and creepy. And when you get down to here, you can kind of slide down. So that's one guitar. The other one's doing kind of some lead stuff. You got this little slide up that goes. You could do it on the 12th fret as well, on the G and the B, and slide it up to 14. And then slide it back down. I did it right here. So that is 8 and 7. Got 8 on the B, 7 on the E. And then slide it back down. And then you got this really cool chord, one of my favorite chords. It's an A suspended or an A sustained, whatever you want to call it. It's just basically you take do an A minor and just take your pointer finger off. He does an upstroke with that. I use my pinky. Side note, really cool trick you could do to sound like a mariachi kind of guy. You can take your pinky and go down the strings like that, but then follow it with your ring finger. And then follow it with your middle finger. And then follow it with your pointer finger. And then you can get this weird effect. Pretty cool. Then you got this high-pitched guitar that goes down here. So you got pinky on the 12th fret, back down to 9, back up to 12, and then climbs down. And you got like a D shape right here. Meaning like, So that little section sounds like this. If you want to be fancy, you can throw in the hammer-on pull-off. Then the singing starts, and the main guitar doing this is going to hang out on that for a while now. And then eventually it will go back down to this. And so one guitar is doing that, the other one's kind of just doing lead stuff. And it sounds pretty cool, but if you want to just know the scale, and you can find all the notes that he's doing within the scale, it's Mixolydian for A. So what you're going to do, pointer finger on the 5th fret of the E string, which makes an A note, and you're going to have a couple gaps in between that. So it's going to be all 3 dots. Same exact thing on the next string. Same again. And then you're going to scoot your pointer finger in a fret. And then take that exact same shape and scoot it down a string and over 1 fret. And then the last one is right here. It's a very cool scale. It's one of my favorites. Lydian and Mixolydian are probably my top 2. They're just happy and hopeful sounding scales. There's a solo section later in the song where he's just kind of climbing around the scale. Honestly, you could probably come up with a cool one as well. Like, you could just come up with your own improv solo. If you're going to play this live, I just recommend coming up with your own. So now we got the chorus, and it is a D. You could do it right here. I like doing it right here because it sounds like in the record he slides it up to an E. So that's just a bar chord. So you got your pointer finger on the 5th fret on the A string, and then we got D, G, and B all on the 7th fret. And then you're going to kind of just mute that bottom string so it goes. Slide it up a step. Then you got an A bar chord, A major. And then just do the same thing you did again. Not exactly the same, it's just the same chords, but yeah. You can do it down here like I said. You got an E, and then of course the A. When you get to the end of the chorus and you get to that A, you could just change it back to the sustained or suspended, whatever you want to call it. What a great chord. But yes, remember, just that solo section, you're going to be doing Mixolydian. Yes, good luck, sir, good luck.